Welcome to the second season of Quick Bites. I'm Chef Z, and today we're going to make chicken marsala, and I'm going to go through it step by step so everybody can follow along. So, first thing you want to do is you want to get what we call your mise en place, and mise en place is the French term for having everything in its place. So, for the chicken marsala, we're going to make it with angel hair pasta, so we'll need pasta, you'll need mushrooms, you'll need chicken, of course. You'll need Marsala wine. Now, Marsala wine can be sweet or dry. I prefer the dry, but it just depends on where your taste lies. Some people rather have sweet Marsala. And then you'll need some fat to cook with, olive oil, butter. You can even mix the two if you'd like. So you need to slice your mushrooms. Okay, so that was the first step. You slice your mushrooms, put them aside. And then you're going to take your chickens, and you can either pound the chicken breast, or if they're thick, you can just cut them in half horizontally and then have 2 chicken cutlets and then work with that. So you'll need a bowl of seasoned flour, basically flour seasoned with salt and pepper. You can add herbs to it if you'd like to, depending on what your finished product is going to be. So you dredge the chicken in the flour, and then you're going to put it into your hot pan with the fat in it. And then you're going to brown the chicken on both sides. So you need a good medium-high heat. You don't want it too high because you don't want to burn the flour, but you don't want it too low, otherwise it's not going to brown. So you're going to brown both sides in the pan, and then you can pull them out and then put them in a pan, and you can actually finish them in a 350-degree oven until they reach 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Your other option is once you make your sauce, you can then finish the chicken breast in the sauce. And it's not that one way is right or wrong. It's really just a matter of what your personal preference is. So today what I did is I cooked 2 of them in the sauce, and I cooked 2 of them in the oven and then plated them. So once you brown the chickens and remove them, you want to dump off any excess fat that might be in your pan, and then return the pan to the flame. And you want the pan to be hot because you're going to add half of your Marsala wine. And this step is called deglazing. And when it hits the hot pan, it's going to sizzle up and steam and boil. And you want to scrape the bottom of the pan to get all those good bits up, because that's all the flavor for your sauce. Once you've done that, so after you remove the chicken from the pan, you then want to saute your mushrooms, and you're just sauteing them until they get a little soft. Okay, then you're going to remove those from the pan, dump off any excess fat, and then you're going to deglaze with your Marsala wine, where you add half of the wine to the hot pan so that it sizzles up. You scrape all the good bits off the bottom because that's all the flavor for your sauce. And then you're going to add your gravy mix. Now, you can make Marsala without a gravy mix. You can use beef stock or chicken stock and then reduce it. But when I do this at home, it's a lot easier to just use brown gravy mix. So I mix the brown gravy with the water, and then I add it to my pan and bring it to a boil. And then I add the mushrooms back, and at this point, you could add your chicken if you want to cook the chicken in the sauce, and then you would cover it on a low to medium heat until the chicken reaches 165. If you want to finish the chicken in the oven, you can do that as well. And then when you go to plate it, you would simply put the sauce under the chicken breast and then plate the chicken on top of the sauce. So there is the chicken cooking in the sauce. And then we're going to plate it with the angel hair pasta, which we cook separately. And for any pasta, when you cook pasta, you should use a gallon of water for every pound of pasta in a large enough pot where the pasta can move around freely. You also want to salt your pasta water so that it's salty like the ocean, not like the Dead Sea, because the Dead Sea is way salty, but it should have a good saltiness to it because that pasta will absorb that saltiness and enhance the flavor of the final dish. And then basically I took the angel hair pasta and wrapped it around a meat fork and laid it on the plate. And then I'm putting the chicken on it and then adding some sauce to the top. The other thing to keep in mind is when you do brown the chicken, when you put it in the pan, you want the presentation side down first. So meaning if you're going to present the breast with the top, that should go face down in the pan first because the pan is the hottest and it's going to sear it the nicest. So the presentation is going to be much better than if it's the non-presentation side. Okay. And pretty much that's chicken marsala. Now, a lot of people don't like mushrooms. It is a classical ingredient in this dish, but if you're feeding people that don't like mushrooms, you can saute them and put them on the side, and then the people who want it can have the mushrooms, or you can omit them altogether. Although I would be hard pressed to call it chicken marsala without having the mushrooms, because classically there are mushrooms. Put some chopped parsley on top to add a little bit of green color, just to, you know, enhance the visualization of it. So be sure to tune in next time for another episode of Quick Bites.